4 men were sentenced to death for a double murder. DNA later proved they were innocent, but the warning signs were there from the start. This is how it happened. May 11th, 1978. Lawrence Lineberg, 28. Carol Schimbel, 23. Both shot. Both dead. Police received a tip from a man named Charles McCraney. He said he'd been seen 4 young men near the crime scene. Dennis Williams, Vernell Jimerson, Kenneth Adams, Willie Range, all arrested within days, all in their 20s, all African American. The interrogations were long. Coercion, false promises, threats, confessions extracted under pressure. But there was another piece. A woman named Paula Gray, Kenneth Adams' girlfriend. She was brought in for questioning. She could neither read nor write. Police convinced her to testify against the men. Her testimony became central. Years later, she would recant. But in 1978 at trial, her testimony was presented as truth. The juries convicted. 2 separate trials, 2 separate guilty verdicts. Dennis Williams, death sentence. Vernell Jimerson, death sentence. Kenneth Adams, 75 years. Willie Range, life. Paula Gray, 50 years. All 4 men locked away, all based on one eyewitness who had incentive to lie. Coerced confessions and testimony extracted from a woman the police had manipulated. To the juries, the evidence seemed clear. Multiple confessions, a witness, testimony that tied the men to the crime. The case appeared to be closed. The sentences were handed down. Williams and Jimerson waited on death row. But here is what happened within days of the crime. A man named Marvin Simpson went to the sheriff's police. Marvin Simpson said, "You've arrested the wrong men. We had information, different suspects, a different direction. The information pointed away from the 4 men already sitting in the jail. It identified a different direction, a direction investigators never disclosed to the defense. The police received this information. The police documented it. The police then buried it. For 18 years, the Marvin Simpson file stayed buried. Meanwhile, the 4 men were in prison. Williams and Jimerson were on death row. Appeals were filed. Appeals failed. In 1983, a journalist named Rob Warren exposed the problems with the convictions, but exposure is not exoneration. The 4 men stayed in prison. Williams and Jimerson remained on death row. Then in 1995, something changed. Northwestern University journalism students working under Professor David Protease began investigating the case. They uncovered the Marvin Simpson file, the document that the police had hidden. The one who said that within a week, the police knew they had arrested the wrong men. They got Paula Gray to recant. She admitted, "I was coerced. I was manipulated. I did not tell the truth." With the Marvin Simpson file exposed and Gray's recantation, prosecutors finally agreed to DNA testing. For years, they had refused. DNA proved what the buried document already knew. The 4 men were innocent. DNA identified the actual killers. Those men were arrested. Those men were convicted. Dennis Williams was released from death row in 1996, 18 years after the arrest. Neil Jimerson was released from death row in 1996, 18 years after the arrest. Kenneth Adams was released in 1996, 18 years in prison. Willie Range was released in 1996, 18 years in prison. Paula Gray was exonerated later, pardoned. In 1996, the Ford Heights Four were exonerated. The state admitted it was wrong. But exoneration is not the same as getting your life back. The county paid $36 million. It still couldn't return 18 years. The convictions were overturned. The sentence wasn't. This is Verdict Undone.